We are live. Hey y'all, this is LaCie and Sloane testing out the capabilities of StreamYard and seeing if we actually are live. I got a little checkbox, so we're gonna see. I'm just super excited. We are actually a week away. I'm about to piss Sloane off very quick. We're a week away from the Black Romance Book Festival. Have you decided to just pull up in Atlanta? She's like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna be there. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Bummer. I'm making like we still got a trips to St. Louis this week.
Oh, we got a couple of days left for Sloane to possibly make a decision. Like, you know what? I can actually make it happen. I can actually do it. What was your week like? How have you been?
You know, it's been weird. I finally figured out something is wrong with the Kindle WhisperSync on my iPad because I use the Kindle app. And I discovered what it is. They did an update that no one asked for. So now I have to figure it all out again. But it did mess it up. So when you open up the book and press play, it doesn't play. You have to like toggle with it. So, but we back in business.
So what you reading this week?
I am listening to the Dillinger Family series by Kimberly Brown. I finished book 1. I'm 70% of the way through book 2.
Oh, wait. You said you're reading the Dillinger Family. What books did you read? Let's talk about them because I can talk about them. Oh, what did you think of Deuce?
Deuce was interesting. Old girl was annoying, and I kept trying not to be annoyed by her.
Selena?
She's so annoying.
What she do to you? Tell us more.
I'm gonna tell you. Exactly, and y'all will hear it again on the podcast too. All right. When she first meets Deuce, he's of course holding his gun to her head, right? Because he is breaking up this human trafficking ring. So he has a gun to her head, and she is terrified, rightly so. The next time she sees him again with the police, and she's like, there he is, that's the guy. And then the police don't respond. She's like, don't y'all care about who did this? And it's like, girl, I need you to put 2 and 2 together that you were working for. Did you go away?
I didn't go away. I'm zooming in on you.
Okay. So I was like, I need you to put 2 and 2 together, like who you was working for. This man has a human trafficking ring, and you was working there and didn't know about it. And this other guy has now set these people free, and you telling the cops who freed them folks, like, what are you doing? Although I will give her, I get it, the adrenaline, the fear, all of that. The next time that she sees Deuce, she's scared that he's going to kill her, rightly so, and she jumps behind her couch. And then she spends the rest of the time telling us how she's not afraid of him and all this stuff. She started immediately calling him by his legal name, and I'm like, girl, you do not know this man.
Well, she knew he was checking for her though. So when a man is pressed, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so, but I just didn't like. I don't like when FMCs or any of the female characters are kind of reckless, and it's supposed to come off as like bravery and strength.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get it.
Yeah,
I get that.
And that's all.
But what did you think of the family? Because you got introduced to the family in the book too.
I'm curious about Jada and Mia, and that's about it.
You don't care about the men? Wow. I mean,
they're there.
So in a couple of the Facebook groups, personally, my favorite story was Jada's. But a lot of people are like, it's kind of boring. But I think it's just because Jada's like a really technical person, and I like the story. Like her, when you get to it, her love interest was in love with her before he even met her. Like,
I think it's like you're gonna get something like that.
Yeah, and it's cute, and it's even like but yeah, like their little story, it kind of like it was just instant when they connected, and they connect in an interesting way, and they just get each other, and it's like gorgeous. I liked it because it's a nerd. It's two nerds.
Yeah, that's what I figured she was gonna get, a little bit of a nerd. So far in Deuce and Maceo, because that's the book too, Maceo.
Yeah.
Um, I can glean that she probably would not be liked by a lot of people, but I was like, I kind of like her. She's a little reserved. Her book is going to be interesting. I know that. So we're going to see
Yeah.
that.
I did not like Selena's reaction to Mia and Jada when she found out that they just were interested in who she was because of the fact that Deuce liked her. And she like was kind of she always tried she was I think I get what you're saying. She just came off a little harder than what was necessary in the story. Because it's like, girl, you wasn't that scared. Because if you was really about that life when that man put that gun in your face, your lifestyle would have been a little different. But I feel you. But yeah, I did, and I like
Mhm.
Mia. Out of all of them, she's the most irritating character to me. Like I spent the majority of their book, and I just finished it maybe like last week or 2 weeks ago. It had to be 2 weeks ago. Pissed
Mhm.
off at her because a lot of the things that happen in their story is because of her and her
The
unwillingness
reckless,
to.
the
Yeah,
the
she's
woman is supposed to be
reckless.
strength, and she's
She's
actually reckless. It's supposed to be come off as strength and bravery, and it's just
and it
reckless.
doesn't
Yeah.
come off as strength and bravery. It comes off really bratty, and she's just a little dickhead in the book, and
Mm.
she's just and yeah, there's a situation and honestly, it's like they go through something as a couple, and I remember I was saying in a earlier podcast episode how I really want people to like show how people get through something. So I will say that in their book, what they go through is like horrific, like awful, but it also was Mia's fault. And because of the lifestyle that they live, like
Mm.
there's like they have to deal with whatever happened to them, but they also have to deal with the ramifications of what happened to them, how it impacts the families. Because Mia is a part of the Dillinger family, but she's also a part of another organization that's like even more intense than the Dillinger family. Like her mom is like a mercenary too, but her mom she gets one over on the Dillingers. Like I think that Mia's other side of the family is even worse than the Dillingers because the Dillingers, you'll see when you
And
get there. You'll see probably when you get into Jada's book or even at the end of Maceo's book touches on it a little bit because this is when you all are introduced to Mia's love interest, the guy she has the toxic relationship with.
Yeah, I figured it
Who
was
is
gonna be him. I have been introduced to him, and
okay.
talking about that and all that, Maceo, you were like, "Oh, you don't like the men," and I think Maceo's book is like kind of an example of why I don't too much care for the men, and it's
Mm-hmm.
that like the major conflict in the book, Maceo even says like if he wasn't dating what's her name? It's not
Her
Selena. What's her
friend, I
name?
forget her name, Selena's
I forgot her
friend.
name.
Yeah.
Selena's friend, he was like, "Oh, if I wasn't dating her friend, I would, be taking her up on basically what she's offering." And it's like, "Sir, you just rescued this woman from human trafficking. Please use your brain." I don't know, like use your brain. And eh, I don't know. They just don't seem like they're very smart. Not like stupid, but like, why are you moving like this? You supposed to be this big family, this big, why are you moving
Well,
like
so
this? Why are you
Maceo and it's Sharina, and
Serena?
Maceo is the only brother in the series that moves like that. Like I will
That's good.
definitely say that. Like
That's
everybody
good
else
because I'm so glad that he has Sharina. I could not deal with the book where he letting himself get caught up like that. Like that girl was moving weird the entire time, and
yeah,
Sharina caught on to it immediately. Was like, well, maybe she just traumatized and kept, putting it off and putting it off. But it's like, Sharina, girl, you know the truth. She don't
yeah,
need nowhere to stay if she went from a human trafficking situation to I'm letting this man trick off on me, this man that I just met, basically. As far as y'all know, she just met him, and she letting
mm-hmm.
him trick off on her like that. But she also didn't have it together enough to be able to get her own place. Let's use our heads. Let's put two and two together, girls. So, but yeah.
So, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I am not reading anything. I'm going to start reading theirs. today. I downloaded it. I actually purchased it, because I said, because everybody, like I said last week, everybody's been talking about it, so I'm about to read it. But I wanted us to kind of like talk about our top over the course of time. I'm not gonna go over like many decades, but let's say in the 2020s.
Okay.
Or maybe in the last, like, what are the top 5 books that you just keep? Like, you just always. Yeah, I'm only limiting you to 5, and it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be romance. It doesn't have to be romance. It could be. I would prefer that it be a Black woman author, but it doesn't have to be romance.
Okay.
What are your top 5?
Top 5 from like 2020.
Okay, we don't have to say 2020. You can go back as far as you want.
Oh, let me. Okay.
I just know that you read a lot.
I do. I'm gonna say some. See, looking at me 5 is what's getting me. So like there are certain books that just always kind of stay with me, even when I've like moved past them. I like them for what they gave me at that time.
Okay.
Like if I read it now, there's absolutely no way. But like as crazy as it is, I think that Torn by Keisha Irvin.
Okay.
I think about that one often. Have you read that one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we're introduced to the FMC and her friend's book, Mina's Joint. So Mina's Joint comes before that, and then you have Torn. And her name is Monsieur, because her mom, but she goes by Mo. And she is dating Quan, and she has this toxic relationship with Quan. Like they live together, they've been together for like 10 years or something. Mo keeps like having miscarriages with this guy's baby. Like she just cannot keep this baby, and they constantly going through it. Quan ends up having a baby on her with somebody else, and Mo is like pregnant, and I think she found out while she was pregnant, or she wasn't pregnant before, but she stayed. Either way, like I don't know, she just really goes through it with him. She got really far. She ended up having another pregnancy, got really, really, really far in that pregnancy, like the furthest she had been previously. And like, of course, Quan messes it up. He had her like it's something. It's why I always say, hey, when people be having babies on you, you should get out, because he left her to watch the baby.
Mm-hmm.
He left her to watch the baby. And yeah, like that was just too much for her. She had just lost her baby. She had just lost her like the furthest she had got, she had just lost him, and he left her to watch the baby while he went and made a run. And it was like, no, you need to get your baby. So she was just postpartum too. You are postpartum even if you don't get the baby. But yeah. But in the midst of that, we got this younger guy, boss, and he's coming around, and she's like not taking him seriously, but at the same time, like there is an age gap, so it's like I think she's like close to 30 and he's like closer to 20. So it's just like, oh, I don't know. I love the energy of Boss. Cannot be duplicated. And so, but it's really about like really, really her. I may actually reread that one probably this month, hopefully. So that's one. Indigo by Beverly Jenkins.
I've heard of this book.
So Hester was a former slave on an indigo plantation.
Yes.
Her hands and feet are stained from the indigo. They're like permanently stained. When the kids' job was to pick the indigo. So she spent her entire childhood doing that. And then when you get older, the women were responsible for like crushing it with their feet. And so that's why her hands are stained. And so she is free now, living in Minnesota, I believe. And she is working on the Underground Railroad. So like that is so cool. And then she rescues this very light-skinned man. And then she finds out that he's like one of the most prolific workers of the Underground Railroad, Galen. What's his last name? Vachon. He Creole. He's Creole. So when I say very light skinned, like they always said, like pale, like pale butter.
Pass forward
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like pale butter. So like, yeah. And that is just like such a nice story. Like, cause she has like this situation with this guy and I don't think she really feels like she should be in love because she's constantly like wearing gloves and hiding her hands and,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So there's that one. I do like that one.
While you're thinking, I got my first one.
Go.
So the first one is called Sweet Obsession by D.A. Young. And it's a IR romance.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off the series of the men of Whiskey Row, although this book starts in New York, but it's about this wealthy, nobody's broke, nobody's struggling in this book, but it is interracial romance. And so it's about Noelle Kramer. Her father is a politician, a very prominent politician in New York, and her mom is a housewife and she's like a part of a lot of charities, and she's super thin, and you know how the upper echelon of black society are, they're very judgmental. Noelle is like this very free-spirited woman. She and her friend are starting a business, or they have a desire to start a business, but she's a cook. She went to culinary school, so she's a fabulous cook. And her family, like she grew up really great, and she has and when she was younger, when she was like in college, if you will, she
Mm-hmm.
sees this PR maestro named Jack Sullivan. Jack Sullivan is the oldest of three Sullivan brothers. You have Darcy and Casey. They each get their stories. But essentially, she's been in love with Jack. Like, she loves him down. She has this crush on him, but he's a little bit older than her, so she never really acts on it. She, like I said, they're a very affluent family. The way that her mom treats her, because she's not, I'm not gonna say she's plus size, but she's very Rubenesque, and her mom's like super skinny and super thin. And like her sister, she has like an older sister who's like in the same realm, and she follows the exact plan that her mom wants her to follow. But Noelle, she like lives her own life. So to like not run away from her family, but to take a break from her overbearing mother, she goes to France and goes to culinary school, and then she gets into a relationship with this gentleman. And he releases he has images of her that he's threatening.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of blackmailing her, saying, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
get back with me, I'm going to release these images of you on social media. So she goes to Jack to kind of help her navigate this storm, because again, her dad's like a politician and she doesn't want to bring any bad light on the family. So Jack, he sees her and he's like enamored with her as well. And and so that's the relationship. The reason I like the story a lot though is because the Sullivan brothers, and I think I've loosely, like, I don't think I've ever said the name of the book, but I always talk about how I love the story about these three brothers who grew up in a very toxic domestic violence situation, and like their father murders their mom and then kills himself. And so at the funeral, nobody comes to their dad's funeral. Everybody and their mama comes to the mom's funeral, because Maura was this wonderful, wonderful woman. But nobody comes to the father's funeral except for the person who works in the graveyard, and then the three boys. And the three boys this is how the book starts. Three boys tell the caretaker, "Oh, we're fine. You can just leave it here." And the guy's like, nobody likes his dad, so nobody. He was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah, we'll bury the casket and everything. You leave." And so the caretaker leaves, and the little boys set the coffin on fire, and then they piss on it. So I was like, "Oh, this is how we started this book." I love how they. And so then, like, their mother's best friend, and so they're from Whiskey Row, Texas, which is like a small, not Texas, Tennessee, which is like a small little area in Tennessee. And their mother was very close friends with this extremely wealthy woman. in Whiskey Row. Her name is Vivian, and Vivian's married to this Russian guy, and so Vivian and the Russian guy wind up when the kids are like younger. She winds up getting they wind up splitting up. They never get divorced. They're never divorced, but she moves away. She moves to Washington D.C. and LaCie stays in Whiskey Row. So they basically take on these three boys because Maura asked her to take care of her children if something ever happens to them. And they have a young daughter named Katerina. But, you know, they live with them, and Jack becomes affluent in PR. Casey is a doctor, and Darby has a security firm. So it's just, I really like the story just because race is not, it's never really discussed. And I think I probably read this book, came out in 2015, so it came out 11 years ago. But I think that I've just really enjoyed the fact that I was reading a book that it didn't, you know, it didn't matter. Like, you really focused on the content of the characters and their love. And Jack's dealing, he's the oldest, and he's dealing with some toxic issues that I don't want to discuss. I want everybody to read it. Like, it's a really, when I say a really good book, and actually the entire series is very good. All of the characters, like all of Noelle's friends, she has two friends. They wind up hilariously becoming the love interest of each of Jack's brothers. And it makes sense when you read the book on how that works out, instead of it being, it seems cliche, but when you meet Sidra and when you meet Avery and you meet Darcy as well as Casey, you're like, these are the women that they're supposed to be with just because of the temperament of the men. And Casey and Sidra are like the comic relief because they're toxic, but they're not toxic in the way, like, if you read an urban romance, they don't go crazy like that, but they're just toxic because they argue a lot. And but they argue a lot. It's like a low-key fake enemy to lover story with them because they're like big beefing, but everybody knows that they're beefing because they like each other. But yeah, so that is, and it's a really good story. And I think it's written by, like I said, D.A. Young is hands down 112% my favorite writer. And she does all styles of romance. She does IR, she does contemporary Black romance. She does it all. She does it, and she does it well. But that book is one of my favorites because my aunt actually recommended it to me, and it took me a while to read it because I was like, girl, because the other books that she told me to read were terrible. So I was like, I'm not about to read this book. But when I read this one, after that prologue, she was like, just read the prologue. I called her. I was like, yep, we're tapped in. So you got you one. And after that, I literally, you know me, if I find a book I like, I'm definitely going to immerse myself in the entire catalog. Shout out to Chenell Parker and Sloane.
I love her. I love
I
her.
know. I do too now. What's your
Okay,
third?
so I'm gonna cheat, and I have to do this author's catalog because it's truly her catalog that I love, because I love how over the span of years, and I mean like over a decade, she ended up like kind of connecting them all, and that is Miss Brenda Jackson. She's gonna be at Black Romance Book Fest too.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Yeah, but you
I'll reach out.
know, I really do love her series. She has she's got, so it's the Medeiros family, the Westmoreland family, and the Steele family. And mind you, the Steele family came about like decades after, like probably like over 10 years after the Medeiros family, which is like her first one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And she still managed to connect them all. And I'm like, that is talent. And also, she does have a character named Sloane Elizabeth. I've never met that woman.
Unless she wrote that book about you, girl.
I feel like she did. I feel like we connected on a, on another level. Just, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then um, I've read so much urban romance that I absolutely, absolutely love.
Okay.
And I would even say what you call it, Torrent goes kind of into urban romance, although Boss was not in the streets. That was actually a surprise. That was like, oh, this was a very young man with a lot going for him. I just love that book. I'm gonna have to reread that one. Um, hmm, hmm. I'm gonna say When It Comes Back Around by Chenell Parker. That would be a top book for me. I always go back and read that book. I'm gonna tell you why. I love that uh Hartley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hartley did not let Carter play in her face like that. Boy, let me tell you, Carter, she found out about Carter and she made that appointment. And I said, well, go on, Hartley. Go on and do that. That's exactly what you need to do. You remove yourself from that while you still got the option to do that. You remove yourself from that whole situation. To be honest, I think she got a little, I don't know why she even involved herself in that situation to begin with, because the whole baby mama with 2 kids thing, and that woman, I don't think she could have ever hid how much she loved Carter. And I'm like, girl, if your baby mama love you that much, she can have you. I cannot do that.
I don't want to.
Cannot.
In the
So,
words of Jordan Woods, I don't want your situation.
mm-mm.
I don't want that situation.
Don't want it at all. Don't want it at all. You got anything? Because I'm on my last spot, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
my second book is, and we're still in romance. It's still an IR book, but my second book, my second favorite book so far is for those of you who only read urban, you know how Demon's Dream has all the girls in a chokehold. Like everybody's like,
He has me
gotta
in one.
read this. Yeah, everybody gotta read it. That's your book. That's all of it. This book did the same thing back in the day. Like people are still reading this book. People still be pressing this lady to write more about him. I tell y'all, I am one of her beta readers. So I know in the group chat the other day she threw out, she was like, he said something to me again. I was like, oh shit, here we go. But my favorite, this book is actually the book that let me know that interracial romance was a thing. Like I had never even considered it. And also since she was my first IR author, and this was another recommendation from a different aunt, and I was like, y'all some little nasty ladies, but because at this time I wasn't reading romance at all. At this time, I was like definitely reading what I was reading. But this is called, and I be wanting it. I want people to read this book. Like it's so old, but it's a series too. And I know y'all I come on here and I'll be moan and be mad when authors write series. But she does the series. She's in the process right now of writing another series that's based on the 7 Deadly Sins. But and those books are good too. Actually, anything by her you're gonna enjoy. But this is called The Naughty Sins of a Saint. And this is about a mixed, he's Asian and Egyptian. Uh he is an Asian and Egyptian psychiatrist with a sex addiction. And he meets his wife named Zinnia. And I just like Saint because he don't play about black women at all. Like he goes up for us. He advocates for us. He's able to explain the plight of a black woman. He understands why men treat black women in a specific way. And then he's fine too. And he's like, and when he's about his wife, he just loves his wife. And there's like a little bit of mysticism because he's Egyptian, so he has like these capabilities that they're not really fleshed out until you get into like maybe the third or fourth book in this series. Well, actually no, even in the first book you see something too. But yeah, so it's like I just like how I just when any type of man that's just not going to do women dirty and not be, I don't know. He, like I said, again, Zinnia, and there's no struggle here too. The struggle happened prior to like Zinnia grew up. She's from LA and they meet because she does a radio show and Saint comes and talks on the show and he kind of pisses her off when they're doing the show. Like he's so himself. Like he's just so vulgar, but also so smart. And it's like you can't check him and you can't tell him he's wrong, and he's a part of like this coalition of men that really do the most to protect Black women. And he sits at this table, and they also battle racism because they're not Black, so they're able to navigate things in a way that Black men can't do. Like he operates in spaces where he can call out in institutionalized racism in a way that a Black man can't. But I will say, um, I do like all of that, but he drags the ancient Black men, and so for me, like as a just a pro Black woman, sometimes I get a little irritated with that. But it's like also I'm like those are the characters that are in her that's in her life and in her book, and these people are they are actually it's valid his critiques, but I just always be like it ain't always just them. They ain't all bad, but 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 yeah. So I think like that book and just
Who's the
really
author? You didn't mention it.
Tiana Levine. Tiana Levine
Okay.
is the author's name. The Naughty Sons of Saint. Yeah, I think that if and it's and I always crack jokes because all her books are long, like 500 pages easy. I always call her an encyclopedia. Like when I was like, girl, if she don't give me a 20-page chapter, I'd be like, sis, you okay? Like what's happening here? Like give us everything, give us all of the stuff. She's one of those, and I think in my reading before I got into the urban space, which is why I critique so heavily, because most urban authors are independent and most IR authors are independent as well. But the level of effort and research that they go into some of their books, I I want my urban authors to do the same thing. Like there's she has a series, and the premise of it is this white supremacist goes to jail, he meets this Black woman, and then they fall in love and he checks his racism. And it's like the first book is called The N Word, and the second book in that series is called Word of Honor. She got mad when I talked about it before because I was like it's not necessary. I think it's not the book wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not saying it's a bad book because neither one of them are bad, don't get me wrong. It's more so just me understanding the mentality of that in the rural South, and being from the South was just hard for me to digest as a woman. However, the story was good, but people do come for her because she took that chance. But needless to say, the amount of research that she took into understanding white supremacist organizations, how the impact of the penal system is down in the South, she goes so deep into her research, and she like her mind is like really intentional with every word that she puts out. And so I'm honored to even be a part of her beta reading group, just because I get to watch her process and I get to actually question her in spaces where she's open to the questions without it being offensive, because some people come at you crazy, and we're able to have like dialogue about it. So I appreciate seeing her write in her process. And she I call her Encyclopedia Tiana, because like inside the tenants, because baby the books be meaty all the time. Like I think her shortest book that I read for her was like maybe 300 and almost 400 pages. I was like, sis, you okay? Like she was like, I'm at 500 pages in this book, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to make it a part two. And we were like, all right, cool. But yeah, that's my second one that I like a lot. Like I revisit that one, and I think I revisit the second one too. Only reason, and that is, I think that's called When the Saints Go Marching In by her. I'm not making it a favorite just because it's a continuation of the series, and I think everybody should read the series. But at that point in the second book, Saint and Zinnia are married, and Zinnia thinks he cheated on her, which he did not do. But because everybody loves Saint in the first book, like the scenario is not really becoming. Like if I would have walked out and saw what I saw, I would have been exactly like Zinnia. But they go through what they go through to make up, and I think that the reconciliation process in that story was very beautiful. And he loves his wife down, and he loves their children down. And so the angel people. Like he's like an angel, something crazy. Like that's an old series too. But yeah, everybody still talks about that series in the IR world a lot. People enjoy that for sure. You got something else?
Well, on my last one, I want to make it count. Like, I love Sion Lee, but everybody knows I keep calling it a Sion Lee podcast. I can only keep doing that for so many times.
I mean,
I love so many authors. Like when I tell y'all I really do love these authors, I mean like they could come out with a book and I'm gonna read it. And like immediately. But would I say top 5? I don't know. That's so hard.
All right, well.
Go. You got another one?
Yeah, of course.
Go.
This is not romance at all. But this is like one of the most prolific modern authors that is out right now, and this is Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler.
Love that book. I love that book.
I love her. So and it's basically, it's like it's a part of Black American history, but this woman only feels safe. She feels everyone's pain when the society collapses, and it's like, it's just how the weak can overcome the strong if the weak persists. But weakness isn't always safe, but it's necessary. And I think that this book is like definitely it's fabulous. And this is a series too. Well, there's a part 2 and there's the Parable of the Talents, but I think that it's just a young woman finding her voice to protect her loved ones. There's like this fight for justice, equality, all the things that just sum up who I am as a person. And yeah, I think you can't go wrong with it. It's a New York Times bestseller for a reason. And Octavia Butler, just a prolific writer. Like she's just so amazing to me. Like,
so I read that book through the graphic novel, and I don't think you lose anything in it. I did like the illustration with it. I think they did a great job with that. I really like that book. The only problem with that book, and it's not even a problem with the book, it's a problem with the world, is that once you read it, you start seeing it everywhere, and you're just like, oh, you're just kind of like, it's a little depressing. You're like, oh, that world was horrible, and that's where we're going.
So is this world. Yep, exactly.
That's where we're going. So,
so that's what was that? That was 3 for me.
That's 3 for you.
So I can give you my 4th, and then you got to give your number 5. But my 4th book, I'm gonna say this is one of my favorite books only because I was like totally shocked at how much I enjoyed this book. Like I was gobsmacked, and I think that in the most recent years, I've read so many books fraught with like minor grammatical issues that people be like big beefing about if you say something about it. And but it wasn't. And it had like the most phenomenal, and I be wanting to spoil it, but I want people to read it. But y'all know I'm a spoiler, but I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all. But the twist in this book was so top tier. It's on the verge of like the I See Dead People type vibe, like from that movie. Like the whole time you watch the movie and Bruce Willis dead, and none of us clocked it until the very end. But my favorite book, one of my favorite books that's in my top 5, is by Tiffany D. Jackson, and it's The Scammer. This book came out last year in October, and I think every so often I think about it, I'm like, damn, that book was perfect. Like I think I gave it a 4.75 on Storygraph. And y'all know I'm a hard critic. And I was like, that's just me being petty. I really should just gave the book 5 stars. But I was like, it gotta be something wrong with it. I just missed it. But no, that book, The Scammer, is so fab and so good, and it's based on a true story apparently. But this took place at a college. The young girl went to college, and her roommate's brother gets out of jail and stays with them, and he basically creates a cult. So I think if you're interested in reading, right off the heels of Nature Boy, I don't know if people have watched the Nature Boy documentary on Hulu or the 47 part documentary that's on YouTube about Nature Boy, but which is about a cult. The Scammer, Tiffany D. Jackson, and I actually got to see her at the library. We did a reader session with her. That book was great. It was super. I'm just like, I loved it. Loved every part of it. That is in my top 5.
That's such a good list. Okay, so a problem that I'm having is like one of my favorite authors. She I have not met her in person, but one of my Twitter mutuals who I would trust has met her. Apparently she used to go to like KissCon in New York. And they did confirm that she's a Black woman. However, the characters are not necessarily Black consistently. A lot of times they're like mixed race. There is one, she is biracial, but it is expressly that she is Black. Her mother was Black. She's like one of my top authors, but I don't want to mention her because I'm like, y'all are gonna like her, but I would prefer it to be Black people who write about Black people for this list. I don't want to say censoring myself. I'm reining myself in, you guys. I'm being great. I'm
not even showing
like genuinely, some of my favorite authors, I'm like, I think they're like a top 5. I can't be like, oh, this book made me fall in love with reading. Oh, I know what's one of my top favorite books. Let me pull this book. This book right here, Jason and Kira. So this is a YA book. It is a mature YA book. My sister bought this for me. She bought this for me. She has no recollection of purchasing this book for me. So it's Jason and Kira by Dana Davidson. I was in high school. So when was this published? Let me look. This book is so old. I love this book. I will never get rid of it. 2004. Good Lord have mercy. So my sister bought that for me when I was probably like 15 or something like that. It is a mature YA. They don't have sex, but they do engage in some activities. So, if you're looking for a book for your child, maybe not this one. However, Jason is an athlete. Kira is a nerd. The homegirl was rocking the curly fro before everybody was natural, because people like her classmates would be like, "Girl, you need to get with that perm," that type of stuff. Jason, he lives with his dad. It's like not the best of situations. His dad is just not it. I can't remember if I don't think she had to tutor him. I think they worked on a project together, and Jason ends up liking her. And I don't know, it was just like really, really, really so sweet. And I don't know, I love that book. Probably never get rid of it. Yeah. I haven't read it in forever because I don't want it to not live up to what I remember, my mind. So I probably will never reread it, but I'll also probably never get rid of this book. I love that book. That was probably the first romance that I had read, like period, yeah, I think it was probably the first romance that I really read, because it is like a romance between them. It is a young adult romance. But yeah, loved it. Oh my gosh. It was so good. So that's what I like.
Cool. Well, my top 5 book, The Conversation.
I know that's right.
And of course, it's gonna be in my top 5 category because honestly, I had in my brain, and I was trying to, and I did a podcast interview with Aisha, who's like the host emeritus of Urban Whisper. She was my partner on this earlier, and shout out to her. Hope everything's going well. I did talk to her on Mother's Day, but I had she and I did this interview. Oh my eye itching. Sorry, y'all. But she and I did this interview with
Scrolling
and I
again.
did this interview, and the lady's name is the author. I hate that I can't remember. But anyways, the interview was so profound and prolific, and we talked for like a long time. And in that conversation, she asked if I was a writer, and I was like, yeah, I have like a few stories in my that I've started, stopped, and then finished. And she like charged both me and Isha to write 3,000 words or some. She gave us some number. She was like, this is October and I'm giving y'all to to December 1st to write 3,000 words. Just, she was like, throw all those, push all those old stories to the side. Just, write. So I was like, all right, cool. So, I'm taking the challenge, and I sent it to her and Isha, and I was like, this is the book. It wasn't published or anything yet, but I sent her like my Word document, and she was like, this is really good. She's like, is this your first time writing? And I was like, yeah, it is. And so she kept talking about how it was really good. She gave me like some tips for that I should have done in this book, but I was like, I'm on my Beyonce. I wrote the book, so once I give it to y'all, it's for you all to digest and do whatever you want. However, the tips that she gave to me, I was like, I'm gonna put it in my second book. So I pushed this book out. I made it come out on Christmas Day as a Christmas gift to myself. Um, it was like one of the top 5 new releases the week of Christmas. So I was excited about that. But yeah, I think that this is a really good story. Everybody who's read the book, they always are like, oh my God, it's a very short read. I'm a short story author right now. I think I'm going to stay in the short story lane. I might get up to 185 pages. This book is only 60 pages long, but the other book, Echoes of Us, is over 100. So I think that I'm going to stay in that space. Because I like the fact that everybody enjoys the books that I'm reading. I'll be wanting more. So I was like, oh, my story was good enough to make y'all want more. So excited about that. But yeah, so on the top 5 list, LaCie Knight, y'all can get it. It's on Amazon. That's the only place it's on. Unfortunately, I'm an Amazon publishing girly, so that's where you can get this
Don't
book.
say unfortunately, because I'm gonna say something about Amazon. People talk about it all the time, but Amazon makes it so convenient. Where else can I whisper sync my books? Um, you know,
Yeah.
Goodreads, if you truly just want a platform to track your reading, you don't care about any of that other stuff, you don't care about challenges or anything, you can attach that to your Goodreads and that's all you need. You know,
Yeah,
people talk about it.
and until this year, I did not care about challenges or anything like that. You and
Hmm.
Morgan really pushed me in that space, but yeah,
Me too. Me too. Because
yeah,
I would always say I was going to do challenges. I never did them.
hmm,
Yeah. But
yeah. There we go.
do our story graph challenge, y'all.
Yeah, do our storygraph challenge. Do any challenge. Do
Yeah.
follow us on everywhere. But yeah, I am. That's it. Our top 5. You got 5 from Sloane. I'm definitely checking all of those out, and y'all got 5 from me. And I think in this last episode that I just put out on Thursday, another episode is coming out on Tuesday. Getting back on track. Might try to go live again on Saturday at the actual festival if I find somebody to chat with. Oh, and also that's the other thing. Like I said, 2 really dope authors, 3 actually. Author is Masterpiece, who I love. Evelyn Latrice, and then I'm so mad I can't remember her name. She's the first one. They like definitely read the book and just empowered me to publish. So I think that that's it. Like writing that book just really put me in the space to be around some really dope, amazing women that just champion me. I kind of dropped the ball and keeping the conversation going with those women, but I'm gonna pick it back up, um,
Of course.
and just keep it going. But I think because life just takes over, and writing is not my primary job. I do have a really strong idea for my third book. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and do it. But yeah, that y'all heard from us. Let us know. Don't even know if this live stream is live streaming because I didn't get an alert on Instagram. So this might just
I've been
wind up.
refreshing and I have not saw anything.
It's fine. I'm just gonna. This is the episode that's coming out on Tuesday because I am also recording this. So we tried. So this was the first fail. We're gonna try it again on we're gonna keep trying till it's actually live. I'm gonna figure all this out. We're gonna keep trying. But it's Memorial Day weekend. You got any big plans?
Cousin's barbecue in St. Louis, his annual barbecue. He apparently, my parents have been, I have not.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So the last time we tried to go, a tornado came through town. We were going to go, a tornado came through town. So there was no going because we had no power. We're not going to leave the house and, there's no power and disarray and stuff. So take two. It is rainy this weekend. So I'm hoping that it doesn't, get too bad like it did that time. But yeah, going up to St. Louis for that. And then maybe Monday, I'm off. I don't think there's anything I'm doing. So I might kind of make that like a little relaxation day. Instead of trying to make errands. I shouldn't do that. I should actually like take a break. That's probably when I'll read That's All Me. What's her face?
Chenell.
Blaze and Chenell. Thank you.
Have you read the first one?
No.
Oh, so you're gonna read both?
Well, yeah.
There's no Kindle. It's on Kindle now. So.
They're both on Kindle Unlimited. Well, when she put That's All Me, the first one on Kindle Unlimited, I borrowed it. A little cheap, in case you don't know. If you borrowed a book and they take it out, you still have that book borrowed until you return it.
Oh yeah, I know that because I don't know. I have a book and I refuse to turn it back into Kindle Unlimited because the woman took it off Kindle Unlimited.
There was a book I had, and I had those books for so long that when I went to look them up again, I couldn't even find them on Amazon. So I said, "Oh, I know this author just got like a KU check, and she has no idea why." Actually, can you see it? Can you see which books you're getting money from?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, she's probably like, "Why do you have this book? It's been years."
Girl? And she's probably only getting like 10 cents or something. But, yeah.
Well, she got it was like a one of those bundles. So
Oh.
So she got a pretty penny from me that day when I finally finished it and turned it in.
What is the thing called? What is that? What is that book? The book box company that you use? What is the name of it?
Read Her.
We have an affiliate code. Girl, I've been saying I wanted to be an affiliate. Let me see if I can make a banner.
Let me sign up for myself. I want to be an affiliate. Girl, I'm sitting here looking at 5 different boxes right now.
Use the referral link. Oh, scroll across. Use this referral. But yeah, referral link.
I just signed up for this other thing. Some people are probably not going to be familiar because it's not Black romance. Well, it's not. So Verve Romance, they started out as like Book in Maine, and then they started off as something else, and then they changed to Book in Maine, and then they changed to Verve. But they had this like one program that I was in with my book club where they would send us like paperback books to read and review, and then they had stopped. And I was going through my email yesterday. I just so happened to type in Verve to see if I was missing things from them, and they have relaunched their program. So I did sign up for that. They were trying to get Black authors on there. I don't know how you, like, as an author, get on there, but they did have some. I do recall that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mostly did it because this one of my favorite white authors, she was affiliated with it, and I never got approved for her books. Never got approved for her books.
Yep. If you want to go to read her book box and look at LaCie Night, you will get 10% off. So yeah, definitely use that for that. Or you can just type in actually the coupon code. Let me change this. Let me edit it. Let me stop it. Off. You can use this coupon code here. Go to read her book. Book.com and use on code. Lord, I'm putting my business out here, but that's how they did it to get 5% off.
You did 5? You put 10 before.
Well, 10. I made a little mistake.
Okay, never mind.
Yes, go to readherbook.com and use coupon code Kiana L Foxette to get 5% off. But definitely, use that. Enjoy it. Have a good time with it. But yes, that's all I have for today, you guys. I will be posting, I guess you guys will see this video, this attempt to go live on wherever we stream. Definitely, as always, support your local library, support your local bookstores, support your local authors. The authors are already sending out the love. Like LM Games has reached out and was like, like people just already reaching out, just excited to connect with folks this weekend. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to meet a couple of people who created this Discord channel of just folks who are traveling solo to Atlanta. So it should be a vibe. I'm super excited to do your trick, Sloane, and have people sign my square instead of a book. Buying books, and I'm only taking a carry-on bag. So I was like, I have 2 squares for 2 days. So square a day. So I'm super, super jazzed about that. And I'm not buying books because I actually have to work. I get there Thursday night and I have to work Friday. So I have to take 2 computers with me, possibly a microphone. Because if you're in the vibe, I might record an episode while I'm down there. So I have to pack all my equipment in addition to the looks, because I'm trying to be looking like something when I'm down there. But but yeah, so this was great. Happy to see all of y'all joining us. If somebody saw this live, God bless you. If you didn't see this live, you'll see it on Tuesday. And follow us on all social media platforms at Urban Whispers Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, and you can follow
our DMs.
Slide in our DMs, email us at urbanwhisperspodcast@gmail.com. And follow Sloane at Sloane_Bueller and engage with her on the book too, you guys. Like that's where we at. That's where we at. That's where we are. That's where we will be. And I'm energized. The summer's coming. I think I'm blues. So gonna be going to a bunch of different places. I hate that my cousin, shout out to my cousin and Sloane's nephew, he's graduating in a couple of weeks. I won't be able to come down to the graduation because at the same time of that party, my daughter has a recital. And so
I'm gonna be a mess, so it's okay. I dropped him off at his first little sleepaway camp. I had to drop him off because she had to work, and she called me after drop off to see how it was going, and she said, "Are you crying?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, it's okay though. He didn't see me." I actually really was bawling in the car.
Girl, yeah, it's a big deal. My cousin is a genius, so
I will not be a college dropout.
Oh, I will. I'm definitely gonna be a college dropout. I'm gonna be there. I will be front and center.
If I go, people gonna be looking like, is that your mom? No.
It's just family. I'm gonna be there. That's the least I can do since I'm gonna miss the graduation. Yeah. Shout out to you, young man. You did such a fabulous job. Super proud of my cousin. Super proud of my cousin, your sister, for raising such a brilliant kid. So like, shout out to my family. Shout out to anybody that is in Washington D.C. This will have aired already since we're going live, but I will be preaching my second sermon tomorrow at 6 Presbyterian Church in Northwest Washington, D.C., but y'all just pull up on me and every Sunday because I'm there, except with the exception of the 31st because I will be in Atlanta. But any other time, just pull up. It's Pentecost Sunday. I got a good word for you. And yeah, I don't have any other updates. So we will catch y'all when we catch y'all. Bye. Thanks for watching.